Just before this audio begins, the script was written by u/timelypurchase4504 on Reddit. Go support them any way you can, and let's get into the audio. You're late, Agent. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. In my world, that's the difference between a clean getaway and a life sentence. But for you, I imagine it was just a long elevator ride and a lukewarm coffee. You changed your perfume, Agent. It's bolder, more certain. A far cry from the floor hesitancy you wore at the academy. And here it is. The night glass file. You look tired. The blue light of a forensic monitor doesn't suit your complexion. You should sleep more. Though, I suspect this particular monster is keeping you awake. Let's see what the Bureau's finest mind have gathered. Age 30 to 40. White male. History of animal cruelty. Lives in a basement. Likely unemployed. It's a textbook profile, Agent. Truly. It's also completely catastrophically wrong. You're looking for a ghost in a gutter. But look at the way he positioned the victim's hand in crime scene photo 4. Do you see the tensions in the tendons? That isn't a work of a man who hates his subjects. It's the work of a man who worships them. He isn't unemployed, Agent. He's a craftsman. Someone who understands precision. Someone who knows that if you cut a fraction of a millimeter too deep, the whole clock stops ticking. He doesn't hide in his basement. He's likely sitting at a front row seat at the symphony, mourning the fact that the violins are slightly out of tune. How do I know? Because 20 years ago, in a very humid cellar in Marseille, I shared a bottle of Bordeaux with the man who taught him. A man who believed that murder wasn't a crime. It was a preservation of a moment. The Bureau wants to put me in a cage and forget the key. But you're different. I saw it in the way you held your breath when you walked in. You aren't afraid of me. You're afraid that I'm the only one who can see what you see. I'll give you his name. I'll give you his address. And I'll give you the reason he chooses his victims based on the color of their eyes at sunset. But I won't talk to a task force. I won't talk to your director. I will only talk to you. You are the only one with enough light left in her to recognize this kind of darkness. Do we have an agreement, Agent? Or should I just go back to my cell and let you keep chasing a ghost that doesn't exist? Good. Now, be a dear and tell your colleagues I like a real fountain pen. This plastic one is an insult to the art of the signature. Wait. these margins. These aren't the standard forensic shorthand. These are your notes, aren't they, Agent? Scrawled in the middle of the night, judging by the slight tremor in the S's. You've noted the reflection in the window in the background of the crime scene. Everyone else was looking at the blood on the floor, but you. You were looking at what the killer would have seen while he worked. You were looking for his shadow. That's a very specific kind of intuition. Most people have to be taught to see the world in reverse. But you see the negative space naturally. You see the hole where a soul should be. It's a gift, certainly. But it's also a scar. Tell me, where does a girl like you learn to look at a monster and see a mirror? Usually, that level of perception only comes from one of two places. Either you are the thing under the bed, or you've spent a very long time staring into the eyes of one. And you don't strike me as a predator. Agent, you're far too empathetic for that. So, who was it? Who was the first wolf to show you his teeth? No, don't answer that. I can see the wall going up. The professional veneer is quite sturdy. I'll give you that. But that's why I'm staying. Not for the deal. Not for the immunity. I'm staying because I want to see how this story ends. I want to watch you work. I want to see what happens when your unique way of thinking finally catches to a man who thinks exactly like you do. I'll help you find him. But in exchange, I get to watch you tick. Consider it a study in shared anatomy. Now, let's turn to page 12. You missed a smudge of grease on the victim's collar, and I believe I know exactly where it came from. Look at the way it resists the fibers of the silk. It's a synthetic escapement of oil used almost exclusively in vintage clockwork, specifically for the pellets of a mechanical clock. You know, Agent, the Bureau loves a full file. They love DNA markers, cell tower pings, and ballistics. They've given me 100 pages of what this man did. But they haven't told me a single thing about who he is. It's the absent that tells the story. Look at the timeline. There's a 3-hour gap between the abduction and the artistry. Your team assumes he was transporting the victim. I know he was sitting with her, talking, perhaps even reading to her. There is no chance of a struggle in the secondary location. No broken fingernail, no defensive bruising. Your profile says chemically restrained. I say seduce. He didn't break her will. He invited her into his world. He has a voice like silk and a heart like in a graveyard. And here's the most delicious absence of it all. No signature. No ta-da moment for the evening news. Your colleagues think he's shy. No, he isn't shy. He's private. This isn't a performance for the world, Agent. This is a private conversation between him and his God. Our architect isn't just killing these women. Agent, he's timing them. He's integrating them into a larger mechanism. That smudge, it wasn't from a struggle. It's a transfer of his fingertip. A final adjustment to his masterpiece before the pendulum swung. And yet, you saw it. In your handwritten note on page 22, you wrote, "The placement of lilies suggests an apology." That's the most brilliant thing in this entire folder. It's also the most dangerous. You see, an apology in a crime scene requires a certain familiarity with guilt, or perhaps a familiarity with being the one who receives the apology after the blow has landed. Your mind doesn't just process data, Agent. It feels the residue of the killer's intent. That's why you're drowning in this case. You're the only one who can hear him screaming. I'll tell you where he went after the lilies. But first, tell me, when you looked at those flowers, did you feel pity for the victim? Or did you feel a strange, terrifying sympathy for the man who felt he had to say sorry? You're trembling, Agent. Just a fraction. It's not fear. It's the adrenaline of finally being seen. It's a heady thing, isn't it? To have someone look past the badge and see the machinery underneath. Before you go back to your fluorescent lights and your coffee that tastes like wet cardboard, I'll give you a little something to dream about. A parting gift to prove that our partnership will be a fruitful one. Stop looking at the crime scenes in the city. You're looking at where he finishes. You need to look back where he begins. There is a small, unremarkable clock repair shop in the West End. It's tucked between a bakery and a florist. No sign, just a gold pendulum in the window. The owner is a man who speaks in whispers and smells of machine oil and old paper. He doesn't know the killer's name, but he knows his hands. Our architect goes there once a month to buy internal gears, specifically the ones from the 1920s. He's building something, Agent. Something much larger than a single exhibit. Go there. Don't take a backup. Don't bring a siren. Just go and look at the ledger for a Mr. Thorne. It's an alias, of course. But the handwriting... well, I think you'll find it remarkably similar to the way you crossed your own T's. Sleep well, Agent. I'll expect you back tomorrow morning. Oh, and do bring that fountain pen. I have a feeling we have a lot more to discuss regarding your unique perspective on guilt. Hi everyone, and thank you for listening to today's audio, and thank you to my channel members, realitydreamsbusiness, Sin, Aster Lemzer, Riverwood, Wolf Rider 26, Amiza Michaela, K29, Mel Star, Tori Hills, Angie, The Poetry Cooker, and in parentheses Katie, AJN, Ardent Melody Audios, Red Raccoon, Reed, Anonymous, Grace Roberts, Thunder, Marlies, Stardust 76, Ruby Blue 0910, Andy Estrada, Mina, Vic, Rutija Karnik, Aaron Johnson, Headphones for Life, Serena 3120, Hi Woo 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 Woo, Megan J Music, Vivian Moon 483, Pip, Julie Arberg, Hannah, Layla, Suga, Emmy Lou Hu 1990, Amanda Gabriella, Nikita Maria de Cruz, Psychona, Annalisa Winterborn, Navis, Foxy Cat, BBQ the 880, Minji _P, Nokia, Epicurean Bard, Melancholy Witch, and Asia. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.